Well, hello there, and welcome to your monthly numerology here at Readings at the Round Table. I'm Jennifer, and I am a little hesitant about March, but it's coming whether I want it to or not, right? But let me tell you, March 2025 is coming in with a roar. I mean, a roar. Okay, so the first day of March, March 1st, we are kicking it off in like real time with Venus going retrograde in Aries. Venus is going to be retrograde until April 12th, and it is going to retrograde, excuse me, it is going to retrograde back into Pisces later on in March. On March 3rd, we have Mercury moving into Aries. Now, this is a good thing because Mercury is not overly fond of being in Pisces. It rules, Virgo and Gemini. So being in Sagittarius and being in Pisces is not comfortable because it's opposing the signs that it rules. So Pisces is not the most comfortable place for Mercury. So it is good that Mercury's moving into Aries. But there's more on Mercury this month. Of course, on March 4th and March 5th, we have Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, and then Ash Wednesday. So I just wanted to throw that in just for fun. And another just for fun, on the 9th of March, we have Daylight Savings Time. So I know not everyone does that. Like in the U.S., I'm finding that out. But it's happening in some places in the U.S., Daylight Savings Time. So don't forget to set your clocks ahead. On the 14th, okay, here's a big one. On the 14th of March, we have a full moon in Virgo that is hitting its peak at 2:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is also the lunar eclipse. So we have Virgo and Pisces moving into the ecliptic, and Aries and Libra moving out. All right, because North Node went into Pisces in January, so that puts South Node in Virgo. This is our first one in Virgo and Pisces. So the full moon in Virgo with the lunar eclipse on the 14th is like putting us in that different ecliptic, that different feel. On the 15th, just after that powerful full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, Mercury goes retrograde in Aries, and Mercury will be retrograde until April 7th. On a side note, this is the Ides of March. So it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of superstition around March 15th, around March 15th, because that's supposed to be the day that Julius Caesar was assassinated. And there's a lot of other superstitions around the Ides of March, but I just thought I would let you know, Mercury is going retrograde in Aries on that day. I know. It's insane. On the 17th, of course, we have St. Patrick's Day. And on the 20th, we have the sun moving into Pisces. The sun moving into Aries. What is wrong with me? There is a total party going on in Pisces. So if you have a lot of stuff happening in Pisces in your chart, you need to be aware of this. If you have sun, moon, or rising, or just a lot of planets in Pisces in your chart, you need to be aware of this because there is a total party in Pisces, like right now. And all the way through March, to be honest with you. Okay, so back to this. On the 20th, the sun moves into Aries, not Pisces, and it's also the spring equinox. Wow, love that. Love it. It is also International Astrology Day. Go hug your astrologer. Go buy your astrologer a cup of coffee. I'm just kidding. I just think it's a lot of fun. Okay, so on the 27th, I told you there was more going on with Venus. On the 27th, Venus retrogrades back into Pisces, and on the 29th, Mercury retrogrades back into Pisces. So again, as I said, there's a party going on in Pisces. And also on the 29th, we have a new moon in Aries that hits its peak at 6:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's also the solar eclipse. So we're moving off of the ecliptic of Aries and Libra, and we're moving into the Pisces Virgo ecliptic. So you can see that with the lunar eclipse that we have in Virgo, in the full moon in Virgo, and you'll see it in the fall when we go through the eclipses then as well. On the 30th, here's a kicker. Neptune, who rules Pisces, is moving into Aries. Now, Neptune moves very slowly, if I'm not mistaken, 14 years. Yes. Yeah, Neptune moves every 14 years. Just wanted to double check my notes. So Neptune has been in Pisces, which it rules, for the last 14 years. It's moving into Aries for a short period of time, and then he's going to retrograde back into Pisces for a little bit before moving into Aries again for the next 14 years. So that's a big deal. And we're going to talk more about that. I have like a whole video planned on that. So just letting you know. Okay, so we're ending March with 5 planets with North Node in water, 2 in air, 2 in earth with South Node, and 2 in fire. Yeah, party in Pisces. That's all I'm saying. So we have the Sun and Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter is in Gemini, Mars is in Cancer, and thank goodness, like, Mars is going direct on the 23rd of February. Oh my gosh. So happy about that. Then we have South Node in Virgo, Aquarius is hosting Pluto, and Pisces has North Node, Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, so I want to tell you what the crystal of the month is. I'm so excited about this. It's so pretty, and I have to move all my notes and stuff. So before I do that, I do want to tell you I will be pulling from the usual cards this month. The Goddess Guidance, the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck and Moonology Oracle cards by Yasmin, Boland. I just love these cards, even with my coffee spilled on it right there. Yeah, I love these cards. So I will be pulling from those cards for the advice cards for March. And I think I can get this. Let's see. Okay, yeah. How about that? Okay, here we go. So, the crystal of the month is petrified wood. And I don't have that many pieces of petrified wood because it seems to sell really quickly. I don't know what it is, but in my booth, this stuff sells like hotcakes. It's amazing. So I picked up these pieces all at this wonderful Natural Treasures Incorporated. They're out of Pittsburgh. I picked them up from, I picked these up from them. These are so beautiful. They are so these are wonderful because they've definitely been polished. And I love that you can see like the different colors and the different textures in these. Here's 2 small pieces. And you can really see like there's a lot of different colors. Most of them are like sort of this reddish brown color, but there are light browns, there's blacks, there's like, this one has both light brown and red in it. There's even like little streaks of white here and there. They're absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I jumped the gun and put my notes down because I wanted to read this. The petrified wood is an energetic cleanse. It promotes balance and calmness. It grounds energy. It dissolves emotional fears, and it encourages inner peace. I think this is so important, like really during this time when we have Mercury and Venus, like both retrograde in Aries, both going back into Pisces. There's a lot of things like happening right now that I feel like we need some balance, and I feel like this is it's also a year of release. It's a year of the 9. I may have mentioned this once or twice, but I think this is a pretty important thing to have this emotional cleanse. Also, it's coming right after that really powerful new moon in Pisces that I was talking about. And I don't know how much I mentioned of it in February. I mean, I may talk about it on my live show. I'm not sure. But here, let me switch this. But the thing is, this Pisces new moon is really, really important. It is like an emotional new beginning. It is a spiritual, like, fresh start, new beginning. And it is a powerful time for you to manifest. But you do have to clean out the clutter before you start bringing in new stuff. And I love this because this, if we haven't hit it by the time that you're watching this, the Pisces new moon is on the 27th. So it's it's really, really important. I mean, it's a great, powerful moon, and Pisces and Virgo are on the ecliptic now. So again, it puts Pisces more front and center, more as like the main character, you know, and Virgo, you know, as the main character. But I mean, come on, I'm a Virgo. Who isn't the main character if you're a Virgo, right? I mean, yeah. So anyway, all this lovely petrified wood, I think that this is so beautiful. I think it's a great emotional cleanser. And it also, the book that I pulled, the Healing Oracle Crystal Reading Cards, you know, I usually read from those. It also connects us with our ancestors. It connects us with our roots. And I think that's so great because, again, it helps ground us. This is a strong strong grounding stone and centering crystal. It assists in connecting you with the tree spirits to receive deep wisdom and healing from your ancestors. It awakens the deep knowledge that lies within the blood and bones of your ancestry. It assists in realizing any old ancestral karma brought down through the bloodline. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So let me know what you guys think about it. Again, this card is such a perfect illustration of how different each piece of petrified wood, I feel like, is just very, very unique. Yes. And speaking of unique, let's see what your individual numerology is for this fantastic and very motivating month of March. Hello, Life Path 22. Oh, yeah, March. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you. 22-4, Life Path 5, and Life Path 7. Maybe a little bit of Life Path 9 because Life Path 9 does have an edge because it is a 9-year. But seriously, it's 22, 4, 5, and 7 have the easier months in March. Yeah. And it's really because of what you guys are centered on. With the 22-4, your month is a 7-month. March for you is a 7-month. So that's centering and focusing more on your spiritual connection, your metaphysical and spiritual knowledge, your metaphysical and spiritual study. And it's not so much focusing on relationships. Now, your life path, 22, does focus on relationships. It is about building and strengthening relationships. However, in March, because Venus is retrograde and Mercury, which is also the name of my cat, is going to be going retrograde. It's a really, really important time for you to strengthen relationships instead of like building new ones. Okay? So strengthen the current relationships that you have during this month. Work on that. Yeah. It's going to be the best way, because you are a spiritual master, you are a healer. And I think because of your practical nature, the Venus retrograde may not hit you as hard financially as it could some other signs, but it's still there. It's still a possibility, because there could be some unforeseen things come to you through your cash flow, or through work stuff that you have no control over. So do be mindful of that this month. But really, you have a really amazing month set up for you, because with the 7 month, it is more about introspection. It's more about contemplation. It's more about assessment and diving deep into your own insight and trusting your own judgment, instead of doing something with someone else, like in a partnership or in a business, or any kind of relationship. But I think that's it's a little tricky, because a lot of us 22s are in a current relationship. So now's a good time to strengthen them. And I have been throwing this word around a lot today. Well, both of these words, which is reevaluate and reassess. I think that is very, very important to focus on during this time of Venus retrograde. It's not necessarily about starting a new anything, but reassessing and reevaluating what we have, especially those things that Venus rules, which is our material stuff, and our income stream, and our relationships. So Venus is a busy girl. She does a lot of stuff. Yeah. So with the 7 vibration, you really do want to, I know it sounds weird, but this is a time of rest. This is a time of rest, and sit back and just be like, okay, a lot's going on, a lot of things happening, and just expand yourself spiritually, expand yourself metaphysically. Having a strong relationship with spirit, having a strong relationship with your spirit guides, with your angels, with your creator. You work that out, because Venus retrograde is never going to mess that up. This is a good time for you to really put some emphasis on that spiritual study and that spiritual connection, and trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your judgment. And I think, I really do think that this is it's a good time for it. Yeah. Anytime something's retrograde, it's a good time to do the things, rethink, reassess, reevaluate, rework. Absolutely. Especially with Mercury retrograde. And Mercury goes retrograde all the time. I mean, I'm double ruled by Mercury retrograde all the time. So as soon as I feel like we've gotten over one Mercury retrograde, it's coming back around. So, but Venus retrograde only happens every couple of years. So, yeah. The mantra of the 7 is, I am graceful spirit, finding insight, beauty, and peace around me. Find that where you are. You don't have to change relationships or change partnerships, or even change banks unless it's absolutely necessary, to find that insight, beauty, and peace. You really don't. It's there somewhere. Yeah. And if that's what you're growing, that's what you're going to harvest. I just want to remind you, 22, of what our mantra is, which is, I ignite the torch of discovery and healing within my world. And that's interesting, because the 7 vibration is all about discovery. It's about assessment, analysis, investigation, and discovery. And it's about discovering that within ourselves, searching for and recognizing peace. I mean, this is a really good month. on paper. We'll see how it goes, right? I know. Right now, I'm just happy that Mars has gone direct and that we have this new moon in Pisces coming up, and I'm loving that. So very excited about that. The shadow side. Let's just talk about the shadow side for a minute, okay? The lesson of the 7 is to make choices without retreating from others and finding the answers within ourselves and trusting them. Yeah. So let me tell you what the shadow side is before I remind you of our shadow side. The shadow side of the 7 is self-imposed isolation, self-doubt, insecurity, which causes us to want to run from problems or decisions. Now, this is where we definitely need to trust ourselves. This is definitely where, that 22 having, being highly intuitive and having a lot of guides is really, really coming into play here. And I think that that's going to sort of offset some of the shadow side of the 7. So just my opinion, we'll see, right? I mean, some of us live in our shadow sides. Sometimes I spend some time there, just things happen, right? The lesson of 22 is to push through procrastination and feelings of overwhelmment in order to embrace our true life's purpose. So our shadow side does involve a lot of procrastination, a lot of feeling overwhelmed, feeling like there's too many problems to solve and I can't get to all of them. Worrying, especially if you're a Virgo. And feeling conflicted between like our inner feelings and what is truly practical. I know it's not practical for me to fly to the Dead Sea and pick up my own Dead Sea salt, although I would love to. So I buy it here in the US. Yeah, from someone that I hope is really reputable. Yeah. We'll get into that another time. But this really can be a solid month. This can be a really good month. And I do feel like that the 22-4 people, the Life Path 5 people, and the Life Path 7 people really have it the easiest during this period of time. Even if you are ruled by Venus or Mercury, even if you do have those rulers going on, in your chart, it's still not a bad. This can give you a little bit of an edge if you are ruled by Venus. I mean, again, Mercury goes retrograde so often. I know. So, all right, let's see what advice cards we have for you, because it's terribly exciting. But I think that this is a wonderful time for us to just reevaluate that relationship that we have with ourselves and that relationship that we have with our Creator, with Spirit. It's a good time to do that. Oh, I forgot to switch the cameras. Ah, I love this. Coventina, purification. It's time for a cleansing detoxification of your body and mind. Wow. This is also a good time to do that because, again, it's a 7 month. I mean, you can do that anytime, but in a 7 month, hell yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you guys, my son put this thing from Godzilla on my lineup. I told him I was looking for one of my crystals that the cat knocked off and was playing with, and he was like, "Oh, well, here, let me put this in its place until you find it." I guess this is supposed to replace the green fluorite that I want. Yeah. One more shuffle. One more shuffle. Gibbous Moon. You are very close to achieving your goal. Seems like patience might be something that we need here. Just a thought. All right, let me see where the gibbous moon is. I think it's in the front. They have this split up. It is in the front. Okay. Here we go. The gibbous moon. You are very close to achieving your goal. The word gibbous means bulging. What a descriptive word, right? And pulling this card at any time of the month suggests that the situation you're asking about is bulging with possibilities and coming to a peak. But this isn't an ending card with a neat yes or no answer. Rather, you're being reminded that some adjustments may yet be required before you get what you want. Though you're certainly on the right track, which is hopefully reassuring for you. However, there's also a sense that the situation is a bit tense, so don't push too hard. One false move and the whole thing could blow. That's not meant to scare you, it's just meant to let you know that there's a fuse attached to this situation, so be careful if you choose to light it. I know that I'm on the right track. That's the attuned to the moon, by the way. The I know I'm on the right track. I like this. I like this. So purification, and we're close to achieving our goal. I love it. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, Life Path 22. I really, really appreciate your support on my channel. I hope you have a magnificent, I can't think of another adjective, merry, marvelous month of March. And until we see each other again, get out there and make your magic. Bye.